I did want to. We didn't have a traditional Candle Nights live show performance. We did have our Sawbones Christmas special. That's part of the video. But I did want to just tell you guys about a Lifetime Christmas movie I watched last night.
Okay.
If I have a moment. Because it was called Dear Christmas, and I thought it would really speak to you guys because it is about a podcaster.
Ooh, all right.
So they really got into our territory. Melissa Joan Hart is up in the mix, and she is the best podcaster. Now, what do I mean by that? How can you? She has her show is the #1 podcast in America.
Whoa!
Wait, what rating?
Well, Trevor, that's never specified, but it's the #1. It's on the Earmuffs Network, and it's the #1 podcast in America, guys. And here's what it is. It's called Holiday Love.
Oh, boy.
And in each episode of the #1 podcast in America, it's called like Dear, and then inputs the holiday there. So it's like Dear Halloween. And then it's about like real love stories from that holiday, right?
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Okay, but so in this movie, Dear Christmas, she is doing. People keep asking, so what's the next episode about? She's like, well, Christmas. And in my head, I'm thinking, this is the #1 podcast. It's called Holiday Love, and you are just now hitting Christmas. So am I to believe there's like a Dear Arbor Day? Me and him both love trees, and we were like, let's do it.
I mean, it definitely means that roundabout, let's say March to like July, real dry spell in there.
Yeah.
Real stretching for material.
I love my dad, and he loves her dad, so whatever. We're in love. That's the whole bit. Okay, but the thing about this movie is that makes it really special, besides the fact that her love interest, played by Jason Priestley, his name is well, I should tell you first off, he's a volunteer firefighter and a amateur glass blower, and
those two should cancel each other out, by the way.
And an accomplished baker, and at the firehouse they make the best fried chicken in town. And also, he hangs Christmas lights and decorations on the side.
Okay.
So there's a lot of side jobs that he does. And his name is Chris Massey.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
That rules.
People call him Mr. Christmas.
Yeah.
Which would have been a better name for the movie than Dear Christmas. So Melissa Joan Hart and
they should have just called the movie, is that Jason Priestley?
Is that Jason Priestley?
I think that's Jason Priestley.
He's 51 years old. He looks great. But okay, the weird thing about this,
Justin, what's his core job? He's a volunteer firefighter and amateur.
He does all the side gigs to support his glass blowing, which is germane to what I'm about to talk to you about.
Okay.
The thing that is fascinating about this film is its relationship to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic.
Oh boy.
Which is it's an interesting relationship. So he makes these little he blows these little glass hearts and puts them up all around town, and it's a way to thank our first responders, right? And his sister is an ICU nurse in New York, right? So it is happening. We can appreciate this, right?
Right.
I just want to say real quick, because I had a very loud sigh there. If you're trying to make a living as a glass blower, hanging up your product for free around town is not the way to do it.
He does the other jobs to support the glass blowing.
But he's doing it gratis? He is not attempting.
It's art. It doesn't matter.
Travis.
Listen. So the interesting thing about this is that is happening, but also in this film, in like the first 5 minutes of this film, her boss at Earmuffs is like, "Are you coming to the holiday party or not?" And it's like, "Okay, so what? Sorry, we're having a holiday party? We're in the same universe, right? Okay, that's fine." And then later in the movie, there is a ugly Christmas sweater party full of people, but they're just on the outside of it doing something else.
Right.
And they don't actually talk about, you don't see it. And then later there's a fireman's ball that she shows up too late to. So it's just her and Jason Priestley. And that is the thing I wanted to talk to you about, really, is that this movie really is, it was filmed it's not just set in a world that is sort of doing the COVID thing, but not really doing the COVID it's also filmed in a world that definitely does have the COVID thing going on. As such, Jason Priestley, Melissa Joan Hart, Ed Begley Jr. as her dad, Faith Prince as her mom, two other, her sister and her boss, end of cast in movie. There are 6 people in this movie, which you don't really notice until like they're at like a restaurant and they're the only ones there because they can only get, I guess, enough COVID tests for these 2 and nobody else. So every once in a while, you'll see someone 30 feet in the distance just sort of walking through the shot. But there are no
extras.
No, the people
There's
in the
no
movie.
zany neighbor.
There's no zany neighbor. There's no waitress at the restaurant. They're like getting their own drinks. And it's this the wild thing is she doesn't hate Christmas. So if you know anything about these movies, that's the thing that has to be overcome. They both like Christmas fine. So there's no movie either. It's literally just, I said on Twitter, it's literally Melissa Joan Hart and Ed Begley Jr. just shouting about how much they love candy canes. It's like waiting for Godot. It's madness.
Justin, is it possible that there's a deeper underlying thing going on here in which the 6 of them are not just the only people in this movie, but in this movie, the only people left on Earth?
No, well, no, because there is a a brother. The sister, her job is that she's pregnant, and the other job she has is her husband got stuck in like traffic or something, so he hasn't been able to come to where she's about to have a baby. She does eventually have a baby, and it is 100% a plastic doll that is completely obviously a plastic doll, and really ratchets up the full-blown panic attack that this film is, where they're just passing around this beautiful plastic baby and making Google eyes at it. But he makes it just in time. But he doesn't talk because I guess... maybe it's particles. Maybe it's somebody just not wanting to give him his aftercard, because I'm pretty sure he's the cinematographer. I was looking at pictures trying to figure it out. I'm pretty sure the cinematographer doesn't say anything when he finally makes it. Doesn't say anything to his plastic baby. Just falls asleep, and he's asleep on the couch. He stumbles in with suitcases, lays him down, lays on the couch, goes to sleep for the rest of the film. Does not
Awesome.
speak.
Can I ask you guys something that's really twisted my noodle?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
And it's something I've never thought about before, but only now this movie is making me question. Do volunteer firefighters get paid?
I think they're just in it for the love of the game. Travis, they just hate fire so much. They hate fire more than anything else.
It just seems like a really hard job to do.
For sure.
For no money.
So's fighting the Joker, but you don't hear Batman complain.
That's
He does
true.
that for free.
Batman doesn't get paid?
We're not cutting Batman a check, no.
Somebody should.
You think Commissioner Gordon's got him on the payroll? That would sort of go against the whole thing, huh?
No, I just assumed it was the mayor.
He gets advertisements. That's why he has, like,
endorsements.
Yeah, he's got on his cape, he's got like the thing for Razer keyboards and a lot of gaming chairs.
A lot of gamer fuel.
Do we want to try and sneak in a quick question before the break, or
just one quick? Yeah,
one quick question.